How about we put an end to this whole entire Snyder fiasco once and for all? What do you say? YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. And as promised, I told you guys that I would give you guys exactly the source of how I know everything that I know about Zack Snyder and his intentions. Something that a lot of people don't know, something that I don't think anybody knows it or has reported on, period, out there. But in order for me to finally get to that, I need to give you guys a story. I got to start from the beginning one last time and let you guys and explain to you guys exactly how we've gotten to this point, because I've stayed silent holding on to this information for a long time because I just feel like it was the right thing to do. I felt like I wasn't, I felt like I didn't care enough to even release or even talk about it. But a lot of that has changed, with Zack Snyder's Justice League finally coming out, which is okay. It's emboldened a lot of people over the last 8 or 9 months or so. It's been a nightmare as a DC fan. Now, regardless of how you feel about AT&T or HBO and all that other stuff, put all that stuff to the side. At its core, the number one issue here is the Zack Snyder cult, which is why I have my Rejected Snyder cult shirt on. We'll get to that a little bit later. It's the toxic fandom that absolutely exists within the Snyder fandom. I feel like there's Zack Snyder fans who just wanted the cut, who just wanted to see Zack Snyder content. Then you have this toxic cult that harasses, bullies, and manipulates and accuses people left and right. It's just, they're really, really, really poison. And, it gets really, the death threats and, this stuff has to stop. And the simple fact that Zack has said that he feels like he doesn't have any toxicity in his fandom, and that his fandom not only is not toxic, but he says that he believes he has the best fandom ever because they raised money for a suicide prevention that they weaponized. That was the last straw for me. And now I don't have any loyalty to even not revealing my source of his true intentions that I've known for over 3 years now. Ladies and gentlemen, Zack Snyder has a vendetta against Warner Brothers, has a vendetta against Joss Whedon, has a vendetta against Jeff Johns, has a vendetta against Kevin Sugihara, and many other high-arcing producers. Throw in John Berg, throw in your Walter Hamadas later on down the line, throw in your Toby Emmerichs. But Jody, what are you talking about? You're just saying things. You have no idea, no proof of what you're talking about. You are just saying things. Well, I understand how that would cause doubt. The source that I have that confirmed everything to me wasn't a source that was one of my sources. I don't give up my sources. This person is somebody who didn't even know. In his defense, this person didn't even know he was feeding me with information. This person didn't even know who I was. So what I did was I was on an undisclosed Warner Brothers location on set, and somebody who is very, very close to Zack Snyder, befriended me. And I'm going to tell you, he's a nice guy. I have nothing personal against him. As a matter of fact, he was really a nice guy. And I want to say this right now. This is nothing personal against you. This is something completely just has nothing to do with you, really. And you have been nothing but nice to me, and we had a great conversation, and I wish you the best. You're going to be fine. I put this out to help fight bullying because I've been a victim of death threats, slander, kill yourself, you're worse than a terrorist, I hope, F your dead dog, get coronavirus, you're fat, this and all that, and F your family, F your son, you hope you burn in hell, hope you didn't exist, bite a lightsaber, just a whole bunch of stuff that ends in me being harmed. All from this Snyder cult. Not the Snyder Cut movement, the Snyder cult, the toxic fandom. And they used the death of Zack Snyder's dead daughter in the American Suicide Prevention to weaponize it and use that against me and many other people who spoke out about how they didn't like Zack Snyder's movies. These people are absolutely crazy. They have pictures of Jesus as Snyder's face. It's ridiculous. And Zack Snyder coming out and saying that his fandom isn't toxic is the reason I'm making this video today. So when I made this shirt, it was to be for a good cause. These shirts were $35 each. The quality is amazing. The logo is beautiful. I mean, my shirts look way better than the Snyder Cut shirts. And I'm not even trying to gas myself up. It just is. The clarity, the set, the clarity, the sharpness, the logo design, the material is just not even comparable. So here I'm offering a superior product for a good price of $35. And guess what? All of the sales of the shirts proceeds was going to, guess where? The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And not only that, but I was going to put my own money out of my pocket to give to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because I believe in that. I pledged $100 each month for the rest of the year of 2020 on top of all proceeds from my t-shirts to go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And guess what the Snyder cult did? They took this down. They complained. They sent letters and they went to Teespring and they made Teespring take it down because for other reasons. They took it down. They're hypocrites. This was never about a suicide prevention because here's a way to really get some money in there too. I want to do my part. They shut it down because why? My dislike for Snyder movies outweighed the love of preventing suicide. And that's the hypocritical thing that I want you guys to understand. This is how dark and deep they go with it. YeFisher came at me and called me a homophobe to the world, added me into the news. I had to destroy YeFisher with his lies. I've made countless videos about YeFisher and how he's a hypocrite and a liar, defending myself. He tried to cancel me, uncancelable, fought that, won that. YeFisher is definitely the boy who cried wolf. He is the first black Karen. And when he came out with all of the allegations against Joss Whedon, John Berg, and Jeff Johns, it was peculiar to me because he's doing it at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I said, this timing is suspect. The cult came for me again. I theorized that Zack Snyder put YeFisher up to using his blackness at the right opportune time. The death of George Floyd was a sad one, but for the first time in history since the Civil Rights Movement, white America was listening to us black people. And YeFisher and Zack Snyder conspired to utilize YeFisher's blackness and use the Black Lives Matter movement to be heard on allegations that were absolutely bullshit. Why would a black man who doesn't have any movie experience, only comes from a couple of roles on Broadway, why would he be so adamant and come for producers who can ruin his career? Why would someone do that? It really comes down to common sense, ladies and gentlemen. People think, oh, he's noble. He's falling on his sword. Come on. Let's be logical here. Ladies and gentlemen, he has a safety net. He was given assurances that if you get these people out, let's use your black skin. Let's use Black Lives Matter. Let's use you being on the end. Let's use this moment to attack now. Not a year ago, not 2 years ago, not 3 years ago when it was fresher. Now, because the Black Lives Matter is important and you're black. Let's do it. Get them out and I'll get you your Cyborg movie. You want your Cyborg movie? You want to take over? Let's take over this place. You got to get John Berg, Jeff Johns, and all them up out of there. That's That's what gave him the gas. Ladies and gentlemen, YeFisher ain't brave. YeFisher is a pawn and a tool. Zack Snyder whispered in his ear. All of this is Zack Snyder working behind the scenes. He has a legitimate vendetta against John Berg, Jeff Johns, and Joss Whedon. That's exactly why YeFisher did this. And then Jason Momoa came out and said some really ignorant shit like, yo, someone needs to check this. What's going on? I'm pretty sure he was contacted by some people to shut up or else you ain't gonna be Aquaman no more. So that's why he shut up, which is smart because I actually liked Aquaman. Then one of you guys, I'll leave that out. Some of you guys, most of you, probably are wondering right now, this is just hearsay. Some of you Snyder Cult members are looking at this video right now saying, you're just making this up. You're just talking. You don't know anything. Okay. Well, the person that I have that's close to Zack Snyder, I need to give you an idea of how close we're talking about. When I was conversing with this man, we had a great conversation about camera lenses and stuff and focal ratios and all that and ISO and different type of glass. It was really nice. Then the conversation shifted to this person being very close to Zack. How close to Zack was this guy? This guy is so close that you could say the words that he says comes out of this person's mouth. And this person told me the words that he said because I instantly knew he didn't know who I was. So I played a character. I guess you could say I played a character. I played a character, and that character is a Snyder fan. Yes, I approached this man and I started to convert myself. I started to ask him questions. But first, I needed proof that he was really as close to Zack as he said he was. To which the point he provided the proof. He began to open his phone, open up his contacts, showed me his number, showed me many pictures that he had with him, and then gave me a lot of stories. And he showed the proof and the evidence and the facts that he is definitely very close to Zack Snyder. How close? This man was Zack Snyder's best man at his wedding. I believe he told me he was the godfather to some of his children. But he also told me he's Zack's very best friend in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Zack Snyder's best friend fed me information. And he didn't know he was feeding me information. Because why would he doubt me? We're on Warner Brothers property. We're at official location. We're at official set. So what I decided to do was I pretended to be a Snyder fan and I asked him questions. After we've talked and all the proof was all there, and then when the name drops, you guys will understand. I said, what was it like for Zack to have to step away from his Justice League movie? He answered. Then we started to talk about it and I asked him, did he feel some type of way when Joss Whedon and all them had to come in and finish his film? Then I said, that's messed up what they did to Zack, having him in that moment, having to step away from the film, and they took over his movie and butchered it, at which he had a lot to say. This person told me that Zack Snyder hates Joss Whedon. He says to get a Marvel guy to come over and come and finish the film like that, he's a scumbag. Scumbag. How does Zack feel about Joss? We talk about him all the time. He's a scumbag and he's going to go down. That's a quote. He's a scumbag and he's going to go down. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of people could think, all right, there's a lot of things with that. You know, there's a lot of stuff, rumors about Joss Whedon that I have heard. I have insiders that know about that too. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around with Joss Whedon that I'm not going to talk about, but the rumors are out there. But this, what he was talking about, was more predicated to him in the film. They talked about how Joss was talking smack about Justice League, how it all got back to Zack and how they would sit and talk for hours about how messed up the situation was. He said that Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns are going down. Zack Snyder wants Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon to go to, and he said Kevin Sugihara. He says it starts all the way from the top. Zack wants Kevin's head, Zack wants Joss's head, and Zack wants Joss Whedon's head because they came in and took over his movie and he was sad and bitter about it. I said, was he affected by it? Is he hurt? He said, yeah, he's hurt. He's sad and he's furious and he's pissed off about it. He says it's foul what they did to him. He says Warner Brothers are full of shit. Then he proceeded to say how Zack feels about Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder hates Warner Brothers executives. And that goes from the bottom of the bottom all the way to the top. Ladies and gentlemen, he has told me that Kevin Sugihara was at fault for a lot of the reasons why things happened. He told me that Jeff Johns is an enemy scumbag and he has to go. And Joss Whedon is a scumbag, among other things. Paraphrasing now, because he was talking so much dirt on them. It's like basically we were having a 10-minute when we were talking about them. We were having a 10-minute conversation of how trash Joss Whedon is and how he can't direct and how he what he said he made his movie goofy. He alluded to the fact that it was color and it was goofy, it was lighthearted and shit. We talked about how Kevin Sugihara had it out for Zack Snyder. We talked about how Jeff Johns is also a scumbag and how Jeff Johns doesn't know what he's doing. He's unqualified. A whole bunch of stuff about these three main names. We didn't talk about Toby Emmerich in our conversation. We didn't talk about John Berg. And we didn't talk about Walter Hamad or anything like that. But he says the higher-ups at Warner Brothers. We talked about the Warner Brothers higher-ups. So whoever was in them higher-up positions at the time, you could look at the time of who those higher-ups were. Toby Emmerich was the head of New Line at the time, which I don't think really had much to do. I think he had power, but I don't think he had much to do with over the Snyder movie. But he says all of the higher-ups at Warner Brothers, all of Warner Brothers are trash. He hates them. Zack Snyder has a personal confirmed vendetta against Warner Brothers producers, specifically named Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and Kevin Sugihara. Kevin Sugihara is now exited. Jeff and Joss were there, right? So now I'm like, for sure. And then they went on. We were talking about how it really Zack was more pissed off than he was hurt. He said how hurt he was, but he was saying how mad he was and angry, and he wanted revenge. He says we're gonna get him. That's what he said. They're gonna get theirs. They're gonna get theirs, and we'll get our justice. That's where the conversation was. Like they believed full and well that they're gonna get what's coming to them. Why would you say that? Unless you had moles in there to cause dismay. Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where YeFisher and to an extent Jason Momoa and to an extent other employees that were involved in reporting back to Snyder. He had them working to tear down Warner Brothers. Now that is confirmed. I've known this since 2018, 17, 18. And I just held on to it. And imagine me hearing all this Snyder news for 3+ years about Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut, knowing in my mind. Now you understand why I really had a genuine hate for that movie to come back, because I know what it represents. I know what Release the Snyder Cut represents. It represents a tyrant in Zack Snyder who has a plot, a Sith plot to take Warner Brothers down. Why do you think Warner Brothers hates Zack Snyder? Maybe because Zack Snyder hates Warner Brothers. It's this. There is beef there. Zack Snyder personally hates Joss Whedon. He's a scumbag. He's a piece of shit. He's a hack. He's this. He's that. This is what we were talking about. These are the type of words that I'm hearing come from this man's mouth as he's showing me pictures of him and Zach and telling me about their lives and how besties they are, and Godfather and at the wedding, all this stuff. Because I had to make sure. And when I found out who he was later on, because even I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was a photographer. But no, he is a photographer, but he's the photographer for DC. Ladies and gentlemen, the person's name is Clay Enos. Clay Enos. Yes, this guy right here. He's the one that is best friends with Zack Snyder, who is documented at taking photographs for all of his movies, even some of his personal films, spends time at his house, spends time with his children for holidays, best man at the wedding, his actual legitimate best friend in his life, knows his thoughts, talks with him almost he said he talks to him every day. He said, I literally talk to him every day. That's what he told me. I remember it's coming back even more to me. He said, I literally talk to him every day. That's my best friend. Clay Enos, who takes photographs. He says he does the posters. He says, I do most of all the promotional posters. If you see billboard pictures, if you see promote pictures and trailers and stuff, he says usually I'm the one that's taking those pictures. And it makes sense because he was at the production taking the pictures for the production that I was at. Clay Enos, Zack Snyder's best friend, told me directly to my face how much Zack Snyder hates Joss Whedon, and how much Zack Snyder despises Jeff Johns, and how much Zack Snyder despises Kevin Tsujihara and all of the producers up there at Warner Brothers. And he despised Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder hated Warner Brothers and still does. And he used the Snyder Cut. He used the hashtag. He used YeFisher, and he used Jason Momoa, and he's still using other people who are there, a couple of them who don't really matter, to bring Warner Brothers down. That's why your boy YeFisher came out and did all the things that he was doing and felt emboldened with it, because he was given assurances from his daddy, Zack Snyder. Oh boy, that feels good. Whew, exclusive, my lightning striking out here, bruh. Exclusive on Jody's Corner, something that nobody reported on, because unless you were there, you wouldn't know. No site's gonna run with this. Well, you're getting it here. Clay Enos, good guy. I'm telling you, he was really, as a Snyder fan that I was a huge Snyder fan in that moment. Yeah, I played a character in order to get information from him. Yeah, that's kind of like, fuck, dang, Jody, you really finessed him. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I did that. But I got the information. To confirmation of what, even things that I didn't even suspect. I didn't think Joss had hate like that, so much hate and revenge, and I wanted to bring Warner Brothers down like that. I was blown away by some of the stuff that I was hearing, but that's the truth of exactly what Zack Snyder feels about Warner Brothers and feels about DC, and wants to bring the whole thing down. But Jody, you don't know. You making this story up. Clay Enos wouldn't be around you, or you ain't been in no Warner Brothers set, and you don't know what you talking about. Then I ask you one question then. Who do you think took this picture? I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing. Deuces!